It's hard for me to put into words how I feel about living in this country, how I feel about being an American, being a white American, being a straight white male American, a cisgender, able-bodied, college-educated, middle-class American. Because on the one hand, I have been told that and I've learned and I believe that this society has been built for people like me, by people like me. And on the other hand, I've looked at what this country has done around the world. After 9/11, the way we use that as a blank check to wage war, an endless war around the world, and the way that we've always had a history of white supremacy and sexism and homophobia and transphobia, and how this country that's supposed to stand for liberty and justice and freedom and positive things has failed those ideals in so many ways. Is it the worst country in the world? No. But could it stand to be a lot better? And is the path we're heading on a path that we need to be concerned about? Yes. And in less than a month, we're going to have one of the most important election, I think, in my lifetime, and probably the most important election in our history. And it's mind-boggling to know how we can do anything about it. Those of us who have not grown up with activism as a habit, or communities of activism, where we've learned how to do that, spend time on that, and manage our lives. I've been wrestling with this for most of my life, because though I've wanted to be more involved in activism and I've wanted to be more involved in making the world a better place, my main obstacle has been clinical depression. And I've done a lot of work on personal development and psychological healing and spiritual growth to try to be able to manage my own life despite what depression can do. And in that time, I've seen that the same tools that I need to manage my life, and that I think many people who suffer from depression or anxiety or different things like that could benefit from to manage their lives, that those tools that we can use are also the tools that can be used for social transformation. Because the more that I've worked on what I've needed to do for myself, I've seen how the seeds of racism, the seeds of capitalism, the seeds of intolerance and not listening to people and blaming victims and things like that, all those things start inside me. And so I've been working on this program for how to look at our lives in a holistic way and take control of our lives. Because if we really want to change the world, we're going to have to change our lives. We're going to have to change our lives. And one of my favorite memes that I saw, it looked like some farmer at a farmer's market or something. I don't know why I thought he was a farmer. But he was holding a sign, and it said, "Treat racism like COVID. Assume that you have it. Try not to spread it. Listen to the experts about it. And be willing to change your life to end it." And that last part, be willing to change your life to end it, that is something that we as a culture don't know how to do. It's something that I have been spending my entire life trying to learn how to do, because when you're depressed, you have to learn how to change your life. If you want to be able to have any kind of happiness, you have to learn how to do things differently. You have to learn looking at what you do every day and how that affects you. And this is why I believe I've learned a few things about how to change my life and about how that can help us change the world. And so what I would like to share with people this month is a tool that I'm going to be using to help intentionally set up the life that I want to live, that's in alignment with my values and in alignment with the vision that I have for a truly just world, and show how we can use that as a roadmap for our personal lives that will move us into a direction of actually changing the world together. So if this is something you have any interest in, if you have any interest in changing your life right now during the pandemic, during this time when our routines are so up in the air, it's actually a great time to figure out how to change your life, because so much of what we do is habit, and so much of a habit is actually determined by context. And when there's a pattern interrupt, like a pandemic, when there's a pattern interrupt, like a breakup in a relationship, when there's a pattern interrupt, like losing a job or moving to a new town or getting a new job, all those things are fundamental changes that happen in your daily schedule that actually free things up to change. If you can do it with intention, and if you can do it with a mind towards what's truly important, it can be a very powerful time. So this is something I'd like to share with people. I'm going to try to put up at least 2 or 3 videos a week. I also have to manage a few other things, including my mental health and studying for a licensing exam that's coming up in a few weeks, and figuring out how to actually make a difference in this election. These are all things I'm trying to juggle, because we all have things going on in our lives, and we all, I think, want to know how to make a bigger difference, want how to change the world, even if we're just starting with this election. That's a great place to start. If you've never been involved in activism before, this is a great place to start. This is a place to tell your children and your grandchildren what you did to prevent fascism from becoming the next wave of American government, because it's here, and we need to do something about it. And we need to learn how to change our lives to do it. So I hope you'll join me. I'm going to be providing exercises that I'm doing. I've got my notebook here that I'm doing all my journaling exercises in. And if you have any questions along the way, let me know. And we can do this together. All right? So join me this week. I'll be posting videos. I'll be posting journaling prompts and some images as well. Okay. Be well.